Some pickled seaweed? How about cow intestines? Or grapes from the sea? Or raw horse meat with ginger? Or cod eggs?
Kids are starving in Japan.
Trips to my local grocery store are always interesting, as you can see anything from cow innards to liver to even beef tendons. You can also find a variety of seaweeds. Fresh salmon eggs, raw scallops and shrimp ready to be dipped in soy sauce and eaten as is. Tempting tuna and squid waiting for you to pick it up. A variety of fish heads with their eyes staring right back at you. Then the delicacies. Expensive, but absolutely worth it. When you go to a foreign country and you see different foods that you've never seen before, your first instinct is to think, maybe I should just stick with what I know. Do I really want to try cod roe or pickled seaweed? Do I really want to eat cow intestines? Or what about these grape squiggly things that come out of the ocean? Or even raw horse meat? In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why you should eat it. My first encounter with sea grapes was in Okinawa, and I remember it because I remember looking at it and wondering, is it an animal or is it a plant? And my friend at the time, who was from Okinawa, said, oh, no, you're going to like it. And so we were at a dinner and I was thinking, oh, everything is great. And then they brought out this. And I was curious, but a bit repulsed at the same time. But I remembered that I should eat it. Although it wasn't my favorite food, it was a surprisingly saline type of salty taste with a bit of crunch to it, which actually went quite well with imbibements, if you will. And so, although it wasn't my favorite food, it did make for great conversation and a memorable evening. So yes, it was a good idea to eat it. I remember the first time I saw konbu. It's a pickled type of thick seaweed, which is a bit crunchy, but it has a bit of a slimy taste. But I remember the rule that I should just eat it. Interestingly enough, konbu has become one of my favorite foods in Japan. One of the things you get to learn to appreciate is, especially from areas where they went from being very poor to becoming a prosperous economy, is that when they were poorer, they took simple foods and found ways to make them delicious. And konbu over rice is absolutely amazing. It has a sweet kind of pickled briny taste that meets very well with a bowl of rice. And quite simply, I can understand how people could eat just seaweed on a bed of rice. So yes, again, I'm happy I just ate it.
Don't want no Captain Crunch, don't want no raisin.
One of the games I like to play, especially when I was language learning, and of course I play the game in the language of where I am, Japanese in my case, is if I see a very interesting food that I've never had before, may it be with a group of friends or some coworkers or something like that, I'll say in Japanese, in my case, if I knew what this is, would I still eat it? And that, of course, generates a lot of laughter around the table, but it's one of the games you can play when you're learning the language. And of course, in this case, the person I was with said, nope, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to try it first. So I'm thinking this is some kind of ham or some kind of cured pork or something. And so, of course, I had no choice.
Just eat it.
This is actually one of my first surprises because when I tried it, it was very tender. And when you add some ginger and you dip it in the dipping sauce, it almost just melts in your mouth. And not only is it good, but it's very expensive. And of course, it's not like the running horses that you see in the Kentucky Derby. These are like veal, if you will, where they're very well manicured horses and they're not bred for tough meat. They're actually bred to make very tender meat. And it's fantastic. Earlier in my video of the trip I made to the supermarket earlier, you saw this. This is called marucho, which is actually cow innards. If you go back and look again, you can see the price. It's moderately priced, but for the part of the animal that it is, you might think it's overpriced. And I thought that too. As a matter of fact, when I first heard, do you want to try this? I thought, oh gosh, you're talking about cow innards? I don't know, but you know what you're supposed to do.
Just eat it.
You've heard me speak about marucho before because I love it so much. It's just so incredibly good. But In America, of course, the innards of the cow are taken and ground down into hot dogs before they're grilled. But in Japan, they grill them as is. And many times they'll marinate them in like a very spicy kind of kimchi-based sauce. And if it's extremely spicy, after you cook it on the grill and you get a nice crispy kind of skin, and the inside you get this bubbling flesh of fatty, juicy deliciousness, and it's just amazing. I am so happy that I found this food in my life. I can't eat it often, but when I can, it's heaven.
Have some more yogurt.
When you look at unseasoned cod roe, you're thinking, why on earth would anyone eat that? And thankfully, I've never seen it this way. And so, of course, I wouldn't eat it this way, but this way, like this, you better believe I. This is what cod roe looks like when it's first harvested by fishermen, or farmers, if you will. And this is what it looks like when it's on your dinner plate after being seasoned in a spicy brine for however long they do it, I guess a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And it's absolutely delightful on a bowl of hot rice or in a rice ball. But let me tell you, the best pasta that you will eat in your life is mentai cream pasta. It is absolutely amazing. You can say what you want about foods when you first see them, but give cultures an opportunity to show you what they've done with the things that they've gone through, and they will absolutely surprise you.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it.
This is a food called shirako, and I remember the first time I had it, I was in a restaurant with a group of gentlemen, and I remember telling them, like, this looks like brains. I don't know if I can eat this. I did try it, but it wasn't necessarily to my liking. A lot like natto, when I first saw it, I thought, I don't want to eat fermented beans. But with Tabasco, amazing. And you'll see this happen with a lot of different foods from around the world, where maybe we as Americans, we put ketchup and mustard on everything, and we try and make it taste good because it has an American taste. But going around the world, people have found different ways to try different foods and make them not only good, but make them delicacies. And you'll see this as a exercise, if you will, in learning how to expand your comfort zone. You're going to see foods that maybe at the first sight of them, you're going to have a revoltive feeling like, I don't know if I want to eat that. But if you give things a chance, the best part about it is not necessarily that you're going to find new foods to eat that you're going to enjoy. It's the experiences of going through that initial phase of, do I really want to eat this? And remembering that moment, that memory where a group of people sat around watching you eat their food for the first time and wondered if you're going to do something out of character, like spit it out or be really out of character, or if you are mature enough to try something you don't like and be able to handle it, because that's a part of it. Try new foods, guys. It's good for your comfort zone, and it's going to make you a better person. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Just eat it.